All right, fellas. I know we have not been into the March Madness at all, but we all have been interested in the women's tournament, and we got our showdown. I'm disappointed it was this early in the tournament. I wanted this LSU Iowa matchup in the title game again. So when the brackets came out, I was disappointed that they were going to meet this early, but it lived up to the hype. It was a great game. Caitlin Clark balled out. Angel she fouled out. Caitlin took the high road, didn't wave to her, although the fans did and taunted her as she left. Kim Mulkey is crazy. Like, it had it all. It was banana land from for me, but I loved it. And a couple of numbers. So I saw this before we went on the air tonight. There were 12.3 million viewers of that game last night. That is an insane number. And to put it in perspective for you, that is more viewers than any women's college basketball game ever. The 2023 NBA Finals, the 2023 World Series, the 2023 Orange Bowl, the 2023 Big Ten Championship, the 2023 Cotton Bowl, the 2023 Pac-12 Championship, the 2023 Big 12 Championship, the 2023 ACC Championship, the 2023 Peach Bowl, every Thursday night football game, and every 2023 college football regular season game except for Ohio State and Michigan. That's what they outdrew last night in that Iowa LSU game. I'm hooked, fellas, and it's great to see. I noticed the discussion was like about the game today. Like, people were talking about the game and weren't talking about like, wow, women's basketball, huh?
How about that stuff?
Look at them. They've come a long way.
Wow. Like, all the coverage I heard was like about the game, and there were articles about the game, and there were articles about the players. And I was like, shit, people are finally like treating a woman's sport like the men's sports. Like, this is amazing. They're just covering the game like it's just another game. And I thought that was pretty badass to see. Scott, I know you had your show last night. You had Backwards K. So I don't know how much of the game you got to see, but did you get to catch up at all on that Iowa LSU game?
I caught up on the highlights this morning, and you want to know why? I actually sought them out, which is more than I can say for a single tournament game on the men's side. I didn't look for anything from that tournament because I don't know who's in it. I know who's playing in the women's tournament, even if it's only like 4 or 5 girls. That's 4 or 5 more than I know on the men's side. So, like, that says it all. And good for them. I'm glad that people were talking about the game and looked like it was a good game. I don't know, like, Caitlin dropped 41 points. Like, she's fantastic to watch. And I'm happy for the sport, and like in a non-patronizing way. I mean, when we were in college, and I mean, it's not that long ago, it was pretty bad basketball. Like, let's just be honest. Every now and then you'd have a matchup that was kind of okay, but it still ended up usually being kind of lopsided, and there was like one dominant player. Like, it's nice to see that they've got like multiple dominant players on each team, and people are tuning in droves. Like, it's great. Like, I'm glad that the product has gotten so much better, and it'll only continue to get better as they become better athletes, like, over time. Like, it's kind of, it is an evolution of these things. Like, men sucked ass at playing basketball when they first started too. Nobody wants to go back and watch old basketball because it was terrible. So, the women have to, like, I mean, like, let's be real. Like, it's been, it's just an evolution of these things. So, it's great to see. Like, that's really all I have to say. It's awesome.
I think what helps, honestly, is the parity in the sport. Like, I think the fact that UConn was so dominant for so long, people weren't as into it. Like, yeah, you kind of wanted to see the UConn streak either continue or you wanted to see it snapped. But for the most part, people weren't tuning in on a regular basis because you didn't have the talent spread out like you do now. Like, with South Carolina being as dominant as they have been over the last couple of years, Caitlin Clark's star power, you had Angel Reese as like this polarizing figure, which anytime you can have an athlete that just divides the race lines down the middle.
Oh, yeah.
You get some talking going on.
White versus black. We've never seen this play out before. Nobody will tune in to see this race war.
But then, like, once you have those, like, the characters, like the personalities, and they're not all centralized on one team. It helps the entire sport.
Yeah, no shit. I mean, this was the college female version of Bird and Magic. I mean, if we're being honest, like when you talked about it from that angle, or it's just like you have those competing fan bases, but I'm sure that there are certain people rooting for a certain player just based on, you know, skin color.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure.
Like, you know, so like, and it was the same way with, you know, the Magic Bird thing, you know, so it's evolved. They're catching up, man.
So you're saying they're only like what, like 40, 50 years behind then by that math? Like,
hold on. Let's figure this out, because Scott's timeline is very confusing, because he did say women's basketball when we were in college. It wasn't that long ago, and Sarah rightfully pointing out it was 20 years ago. It's been 20 years.
I know, but like I'm saying in terms of like where the game has come from. Like it seems like it moved rather quickly, where for a long ass time it was pretty stagnant. Like, you know, it was unwatchable for quite a while.
Yeah, and I don't know what it was that triggered it either, but it's a damn good.
I don't either.
Like,
yeah, I mean, like I said, there were some teams in there, but
it's also like you just get these personalities, these players that are amazing to watch too. Like Matt Barr said back in the day, it was Diana Taurasi dropping 35 on Lehigh, and no one cared. Like, absolutely, like, it just wasn't like whatever. But then you watch Angel play, and it's just, I don't know, it brings another level to the game too, because like, I think honestly, I want to give a lot of credit. I can't believe I'm going to say this because I know I'm going to get roasted, but like, I think the ESPN broadcast, they do a great job of breaking it down too. Like, there's a lot of great talk about like the tactics and strategy in basketball. I think it being in quarters helps too. Like, it makes it more consumable, chops it up a little bit, but it also adds that end of the quarter strategy where like they were, I think it was in the third quarter yesterday, or no, it was the first quarter, because I was watching the USC UConn game, because fuck the Trojans. And they were talking about how they could get a 2-for-1 at the end of the first quarter. And I was like, wait, what? Oh yeah, that's right. Because we're only playing whatever it is, 8 minutes or whatever. So it's Scott said some shit, okay? Matt Barr.
No, I didn't, bitch. Yes. Don't throw me under the bus.
Fine. It was Diana Taurasi dropping 35 on Lehigh, and no one cared. These girls are crushing it. More interesting than the men's bracket. Matt Barr, congratulations. Now everyone still hates you anyways. Like, it wasn't that
out the audio only audience, Mookie.
E-Man Woman Haters Club over here.
Yeah. Matt Barr.
Can I jump in there, Moo? Because I think it just hit me why I think people have come around to women's basketball more than they did like back in the day. And I think it's a byproduct of the evolution of the men's game. Like, the men's game used to be, it was dunks. It was big man, like powering you inside and then slam dunks, and everybody would lose their mind. And like because that was always the dig on women's basketball, was they're not even dunking. Like, oh, nice layup, like the sweet mid-range jumper you got there. Like, everybody shit on it because it wasn't that like physical slam dunk, like Shaq putting his nuts in somebody's face kind of basketball. It was more of like the technical game. And now that the men's game has evolved and pushed out, and it's more 3-pointers and people just throwing it up from the logo, it makes that version of the game more palatable to a broader audience that didn't like it before. So in a way, it feels like the men's game changing is what helped bring along the women's game to be more popular and more mainstream than it was 20 years ago.
Thanks for mansplaining that to us, Mike.
Yeah, really. Dick.
All I'm trying to say is give the men's game some credit for helping out the ladies. That's all I'm trying to say.
Well, so
race card.
What you're saying is, without us men, the women would have never been able to get this popular, and we carried their asses here. Wow, sexist ass shit, dude.
We can thank Steph Curry. Steph Curry walked so Caitlin Clark could run. Okay.
Wow. Sarah saying, figures that men would find a way to still take credit. And see, yeah, Mike, you're getting another one of these too.
Race card.
A race card.
Because we don't have a sexism card, but you'd be getting that if I had it. So you get that.
You
instead.
Can't throw a race card willy-nilly around here, Mookie. It's a boo that man or it's nothing. Like, come on.
Oh, I forgot
Learn
we
how to
had
run
that
the
one.
board.
Hold on. I'll give you that one too then.
Boo this man!
But I'm also glad that Matt Barr said it, so I don't have to be the OWG that does. But he said it's a byproduct of watching the same players develop for 4 years. One and done killed men's college basketball. And I do think that's a part of it. Having Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark around for 2 years to have like their what was it, the national title game last year that they were able to talk about and build up heading into this game this year, like there's an aspect of that does bring people in.
I don't know. I know Matt mentioned that as well as like the death of college basketball on the men's bracket and why it's not as interesting. I don't know if that's necessarily the case because prior to we just didn't have those good kids coming to the bat. Like you had guys playing 4 years.
Not only that,
good. Like
not only that, none of them are. They're just not like stars anymore. We had one and done kids that were stars. Like we've had one and done
I think
guys that draw eyes to the game, but there are none of those guys right now. Like I don't know anybody in men's college basketball. I can't name you a single player that doesn't play for Xavier. I just can't.
Flipakowski or Flipafowski.
Yeah, I mean, the big fucking goofy
the
Purdue
kid from
kid.
Duke. What about Zach Eady, the tall kid from Purdue?
The big fat fuck from NC State. These are the things that I like have learned over the past.
Because that's what it says on the back of his jersey, Scott. Fat fuck.
Like that's all I know. I don't know these kids' names. Like, and that's not how it used to be. I mean, you had a goofy ass Adam Morrison to draw some eyeballs in. Like,
guy.
no, I know, but again, like there was always somebody that
it.
you could point. Yes, well, of course, fuck him. But there's always somebody that you could point to and be like, all right, that's like the player of the year candidate, and you know, I at least know who that is. I don't know who the last like 20 player of the year candidates have been in college basketball.
I got to go back because Chase said I need to say it in the Lou Holtz voice.
Say what?
So, he wants me to say, Steph walks so that Caitlin Clark can run.
Well done. Thank you, Lou.
Oh, that's great.
Thank you.
That's what I'm going to do from now on. Whenever I say something that's like really
controversial,
the line like that.
Yeah, because you can just pass it off to
just
whatever.
do it as Lou Holtz, and then I'm totally covered. Because I'll even get in the character. I'll put the hat on, put the glasses on, and just go in and talk about how we should be grateful that the men brought the women's game along with them.
While they were in the kitchen making sandwiches, we were hard at work evolving the game of basketball so that people would then watch them.
Oh, God.
You're welcome, sweetheart. Glad to.
You know, it's crazy because I could like picture Lou's face.
Oh God, it's so
as you're saying this shit. So like I'm fully
man.
crediting him with all of these things.
Oh Jesus.
Oh man.
I swung comically early at a pitch in the show as soon as Mike busted out the voice.
Oh God.
Thank you, Chase. He said he's fucking crying. Appreciate you, man.
I'm sure it's got nothing to do with the 28% THC Blue Gatorade.
It makes listen, it makes the show way funnier if you're high. Like I
takes, we'll send some to your house, folks. Tell your friends.
Sarah said I would not be surprised if Lou really felt that way. Catholics are known for thinking of women as the lesser sex. 100%.
I mean, yeah.
He thinks that way, Sarah. He 100% thinks that way.
Well, that's what the Bible says. Like, what are you supposed to do, man? Fucking Bible. I'm not Catholic, by the way. I used to be, but
you're recovering.
Yeah, there you go. You can call it that. Sorry, Mom and Dad, but I think you kind of figured that out by now.
So now we have Caitlin going up against UConn, right? That's where that's who.
Yeah, Paige Beckers and Caitlin Clark going at it.
Another baller ass matchup between
another person that I've heard of. Like again, this is what I'm saying. Like the women names that I know outweigh the men like 5-0.
Scott, did you see that Ice Cube offered Caitlin Clark $5 million to come play in the Big Three?
Yeah, I did see that, and I
Yeah.
thought that was genius. Because honestly, the WNBA needs her like they need water, bro. Like they're looking at her like so they cannot wait to get their hooks in some Caitlin Clark. Like they are ready for that golden goose. And I think she's gonna bring a lot of like eyeballs with her. I think this might be the time that the WNBA finally gets a little bit of a push for once, because they've been saying like, oh, this is gonna be the one, and then it kind of is, but it mostly isn't. But I think that she could actually be the one that pushes it in that direction a little bit further.
Well, and what was interesting too is they were pointing out too how her game can grow getting into the WNBA, and so even with that, it's like, so wait, you mean to tell me there's another gear for her? Like, are you
Right.
joking? Like, they're like, yeah, she can just develop that little jump stop game in the paint or in that mid range, and I'm like, dude, this is great talk. Like,
Well, and I mean, they're going to steal the
coverage.
same thing that the men's, the NBA and the NFL have stolen from college for years too. They're going to go on
Kickoffs.
ahead no, they're gonna do the same thing when Reese gets to the WNBA as well. I mean, they're gonna hype up that rivalry wherever they end up.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna milk that cow too, and they should. Like again, it's like a built-in thing. It all like flows right into it. So I know the WNBA is ready, but smart on Ice Cube to go out there and try to do it, because again, if you can milk that cow, go on ahead, man.
Fun fact. Indianapolis, I believe, has the first overall pick in the WNBA this year. So Caitlin may be coming to India, Indy, guys.
Not India?
She's not going to India.
Dude, I'm tongue twisted. I'm drunk. Cut me some
Better
slack.
learn
Jesus
Hindu, buddy.
Dude, I would have a hard time because I would smash
We
all
know
of
you.
that contain.
Wow, I didn't know where that was going, but you said I'd have a hard time. I'm like, well, I know you'd have a hard time because you couldn't even understand Caesar saying what he said. So there's no way you're gonna have an easy time in India. You're fucked.
Oh man, no, I would eat so much, but then like I like my Indian food spicy, and obviously then it gives me the volcano shit, so it would just be a rough time. But I would have no apologies or regrets.
You just running around India shouting, "Do you speak English?"
Nah, man, I got a cell phone. I'd use Google Translate. It'd be fine.
Oh God, that's less patronizing to just hold up your phone. Here, speaking of this, so I can understand what you're saying.
God, Matt Barr said better learn Hindu, buddy, is an all-time.
Dude, they play cricket in India too. I fucking love cricket. It's a blast. Make a lot of money on
let
cricket.
me ask you this.
Coincidentally.
This is the true tell to see how far women's basketball has truly come. Mookie, how much did you bet on that Iowa LSU game last night?
I didn't because I was
God
invested.
damn it.
I did, no. I didn't.
Guys,
because
we have tried so hard. We failed though. The women's game is not as
you
far.
gotta-
We
as
haven't carried
you
him as
gotta
far
hear
as
me
we
out.
thought.
The guy who bets on Little League baseball didn't put any action on the biggest women's college basketball game of all time.
Because I was invested in the outcome.
one,
I cared
please,
about
like,
what happened. I don't bet on Notre Dame football for the same exact reason, except
Not
for the
even a
bowl game,
prop?
because that shit didn't matter. No, because I wanted to look, I'm gonna be very honest. I wanted Iowa to win, but mainly because fuck Kim Mulkey. Like, she drives me fucking nuts, even though she can still get it too. But I wanted to watch the game, and I didn't want to put money on it because I didn't.
What? When's the last time you wanted to watch any sporting event without any action on it? Like willingly. Like I don't want I'm
Notre Dame football, FC Cincinnati soccer, Detroit Red Wings. That one, that's iffy. We'll take that one off the board.
Wait, so you don't gamble on
Arsenal
any of those?
soccer. Nope.
You don't gamble on any of those, really?
Nope.
I don't understand how you don't like bet the over on like the prop bets, like something like there's.
I thought for sure you bet on Notre Dame.
Like bet for your like bet for a specific player on the team that you want to do well. Like there's a lot of ways for your degenerate behavior to show through.
You are right. Except the fandom clouds your judgment, and then you can't be a fair judge of value, and it hurts the bottom line.
Sarah said, Mookie with integrity? Who are you? And Matt Barr saying, we tried to turn Mookie's degeneracy into a positive for women's sports. And of course, he dropped the ball.
Sorry, but it's true. I looked at the lines. I was going to put money on LSU to come back when they were plus 300. But outside of that, like I cared what happened.
Yeah. Quick correction too, Mookie, get the more you know banner going here because Whitey correctly pointing out, Scott, that the language is called Hindi. It's not.
Well,
it's just a correction. We just got to make it.
That's fine. I just that ruins the earlier joke as well. It's fine.
I know. I got you. I picked up what you were putting down. I got you. That's why I
was lucky. Honest to God, I was lucky I pulled Hindu out of my ass. I almost really flubbed and said Indian.
Oh, yeah, that would have.
Better learn Indian, buddy. Oh, wait, that's not it.
That would have got you one of these.
Reese card.
Yeah. So.
One more thing about Caitlin Clark. I don't know if you guys saw this, but they are already talking about Caitlin Clark versus Steph next year in the 3-point competition at the All-Star game. Like they're already planning it. Oh, yeah. Yes, that's correct. Matt Barr pointing out Caesar said Konnichiwa and then said Chinese. We don't carry languages around here.
It's so true.
Robert Taylor said Scott missing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle reference is disappointing. I don't know what the reference was.
Which one? What did I miss?
Drop it in the comments for us, Robert.
I'm looking in the comments and I'm like, I don't see anything that
Rex said that Mookie not betting on women's sports shows that he is not a true gender equality supporter.
Whatever, dude.
That's actually true. Yeah.
I'm comfortable with my decisions, and I had a great ass time last night. So, suck it. I bet on the UConn USC game. Like that doesn't count for anything. Like what the fuck?
So you didn't bet on the one game, but you did on the other?
Because I cared about the outcome of the game. I don't bet on them when I am invested in them because then I don't trust my judgment and I don't want to lose money. I want to make.
So who did you want to win?
In what, the Iowa LSU game? I wanted Iowa to win because fuck Kim.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see, I knew you were gonna play that shit.
So no. You motherfucker, you said you had a vested interest because you cared. So I was just trying to see which side you cared about, but big shocker. You wanted Iowa.
Yeah. Can you talk about her team and her players and all these fucking
you'd have been better off putting money on it, my friend. It would have showed less colors.
Yeah, whatever.
He did show.
I got nothing color.
He did show less color by choosing Iowa.
I've seen white people before, you know what I'm saying? But you motherfucker, man, you white as mayonnaise, man.
I am for Iowa too. I'm sorry, Scott.
What? Hold on, wait. What did I?
Nothing. What? Who
was that for me?
What? No, I didn't say anything. Nothing. I didn't say nothing.
God damn it.
Nothing about nothing.
Well, I was looking at because Robert told me on he texted me, but it was the TMNT reference, which I always think of Ninja Turtles when I hear cricket, but I just didn't make the joke there because honestly I didn't know who else might get it on the show except for people. Fair comments, but
fair. Well, let's shift to the men's game real quick because there's one thing I did want to talk about. This NC State run is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous that this team is still alive.
Sorry, but when I see two of them comment on it, I have to put it up there because Chase said, Scott, it was for half of you, and then Tyson saying half of Scott was pulling for Iowa too. So
divided over there. Scott was the house divided.